Looking elsewhere now, Iran's foreign minister has rejected the possibility of direct talks with the United States. Javed Zarif says he isn't sure how long any pact with President Donald Trump would last. Mr. Zarif adds, U.S. arrogance has fueled mayhem in the Middle East. Now, the comment follows British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's calls for President Trump to replace the 2015 nuclear deal with his own pact. Mr. Trump has tweeted he agrees with Mr. Johnson. And at the same time, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov has expressed concerns over tensions in the Middle East. He says Moscow has been urging Gulf countries to consider a common security mechanism for the region. Neha Punya joins us live from New Delhi right now. Neha, Iran's foreign minister insists that the 2015 nuclear deal is not dead. Why is that?
That was a very emphatic comment from Iranian Foreign Minister Javed Zarif. He was speaking here in Delhi, where he said that deal is not dead. Also echoing what Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said earlier in the day, where he said the only way forward is to go back to the 2015 nuclear deal. And as far as the Iranian Foreign Minister is concerned, his statement was made on two accounts, he claimed. One, of course, that the only reason this deal is not working and that it's in limbo is because the U.S. went back on its commitment and opted out in 2018. He's also said that as far as allegations of Iran violating the terms of that deal are concerned, he's maintained that everything that Iran has done to take its nuclear program forward, all those steps are reversible, and that Iran would look at reversing all of that if there was some kind of firm commitment from the United States, beg your pardon, on lifting the sanctions that are plaguing Tehran at the moment. He did say that there is an interest from Tehran to engage on this matter diplomatically, but also said that his country is not going to negotiate with the United States anymore, which begs the question, if not the U.S., then who are they going to negotiate with? And the Iranian foreign minister possibly hinting at the European Union, saying that they don't have to be bullied by the United States. This comes a day after Britain, France and Germany accused Tehran of violating the terms of that nuclear deal. He had a warning for these countries as well, saying that while we are being bullied by America right now, it could be you next. So you need to side with the right side.
All right, Neha, I want to bring up British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. He's called for U.S. President Donald Trump to replace the 2015 deal with a deal of his own. What are observers saying? How likely is that to happen?
That did come up when the Iranian foreign minister was speaking here in Delhi, and he referred to that with a whole bunch of skepticism. And he said that I did have a deal with the U.S. president no less, and the U.S. broke it. He also went on to say that if I do sign a deal with Trump, something that Boris Johnson referred to as a Trump deal, something Donald Trump endorsed himself on Twitter, saying he likes the sound of that. The question from Iran is that how can we trust Donald Trump to go ahead and do what he's saying? And the Iranian foreign minister referred to the G7 summit in 2018, where Donald Trump retracted and stopped endorsing a joint statement that he was party to, and then later lashed out at Canada. Also said that if I do sign a deal with Trump, how long will it last? Perhaps 10 months or until Trump changes his mind. So a lot of skepticism associated with what Donald Trump is saying. And Iran also believes that there was mistrust. You had the Iranian foreign minister admitting that, saying there was mistrust from both sides, from the Iranian side as well as the American side, but very, very clear in maintaining that it wasn't us that walked out. So for now, it looks like Tehran is willing to engage, certainly not at the conditions that the U.S. is putting forth, but it is showing a lot of commitment to go ahead and go back to the 2015 deal, something that Hassan Rouhani said himself today as well.
All right, now very quickly, Russia calling on Gulf countries to think about collective security measures. What else has Russia said?
You had Russia's Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov speaking here in Delhi as well, and he said that Russia is in touch with countries in the Middle East, and they are suggesting to them essentially that there be some kind of confidence-building measure, perhaps through joint military exercises. And the message here is that Russia is concerned about the escalating situation in the Middle East. Over the last few months, we've seen Russia take a central position in that region, positioning itself as a country that's responsible, that's not going to go back on its words, and is possibly also the country that's able to talk to all the countries in that region, and even though they might be at odds with one another. So Russia once again trying to show that America is the unreliable partner here, but Moscow is someone that these countries can rely upon.
All right, thanks for that. Neha Punya speaking to us from New Delhi.